You're still watching Ways now. According to World Health Organization data, suicide is the biggest killer of men under the age of 45. This is the case in many countries worldwide, including the UK, United States of America, Australia, and Russia. In terms of statistics, it seems that more women are diagnosed with depression more often than men, but that men are more likely to commit suicide. Clearly, there are reasons for this that are particular to men. Gender, cultural conditioning, and adequate role models are contributing factors. As many women as men may contemplate ending their own lives, but men are more likely to go through with it, and often in violent ways. This says something about the psychology, attitudes, and mental well-being of men in our communities. From a young age, boys are gendered in a particular way. Boys will be boys, and they are told, and boys don't cry. With variation, it is a sensibility found in many cultures around the globe. As they grow up, men are encouraged to present a strong, unaffected image that often masks the deep need to communicate what is going on for them emotionally. So that's why International Men's Day threw some light to some of these struggles of men, and also to celebrate men on this day. So happy International Men's Day.
That's International Men's Day?
Yes.
I didn't know.
International Men's Day.
I know of Women's Day.
Yeah,
I know of Daddy's Day.
Because women get a lot of publicity on the day. So you see,
and a lot of funding goes to the cause for women and girl child.
I mean, we know why. It's been a long time coming, just I think for gender equality. But I like this day because it also, just as you said, throw more light on important issues. So while there is the case of gender equality, there's also what men go through. And I like the fact that they're highlighting it and we're not just overlooking it. So things like the burden on their shoulders, you know, a man is burdened with feeding, taking care, being a sole provider in a typical traditional sense. The man bears all the burden, the success of the family.
And when he feels like he's not up to it
or inadequate,
he feels inadequate, then there's a big problem for that man.
Yeah,
so
there's a big problem.
So just to keep on talking and encouraging the men out there.
Like
You can't, you don't, yeah, and again, you don't have to do it alone, right? I mean, for men that are blessed to have strong women beside them, encourage them. Don't be boxed in that where they say, oh, men are supposed to be, and you have someone that is very good that can actually, you know, buffer some of those burdens for you. Why are you not taking advantage of the woman that God has blessed you with? So sometimes I think you are shooting yourself in the foot. But Milola, let me hear your thoughts quickly.
Well, I believe men are suppressed in terms of their emotions. They are not allowed to express emotion. And people believe it's a sign of strength when you can keep it together. But being vulnerable is not a sign of weakness. You should actually be comfortable with breaking down when you feel like breaking down, and understand that we all need people, and it is not out of character to just express feeling because you're human. Absolutely. There's a lot of human doing as again to being human being that we do that makes it more complicated and really should be. But I agree that men should get the support and the recognition in society, because at the end of the day, we drive a lot of men to depression because of these standards. And they didn't make the rule. They're just victim of the same rule that we fall under.
Absolutely. All right, so let's find our stories. Let me come to you, AK.
Well, I don't know if I sit down.
I was actually going to take my story first.
Oh, okay, please, Bilola, go.
For a change.
I wasn't sure.
I was ready. I was actually going to take my story first.
Go ahead,
what I have today is from Punch newspaper. It talks about graduates yet to take COVID-19 vaccines won't be allowed into camp, says NYSC. Voila, graduates who have not taken COVID-19 vaccine jabs will not be allowed into its offices and orientation camps from 2021 batch C Stream 2 orientation course slated to begin November 24th. That was said today on Friday. The National Youth Service Corps Director, Press and Public Relations Officer Adenike Adeyemi said this during a press briefing today in Abuja. And according to her, henceforth, each graduate seeking absorption into its orientation exercise must prevent a certificate of fitness from a government or military hospital affixed with a stamp of the Nigerian Medical Association alongside a COVID-19 jab. Now, I do not know if every member that are due for NYSC are aware of this, and they are going to resume camp on the 24th. They probably have been given this information. This is just coming into public knowledge. But it's interesting to know that if you do not get vaccinated, you are not going to be allowed for service. So I guess it's coming upon every one of us to go get vaccinated. That's my news.
I think it's important for them because, again, they're gathering people. So I think the agency wants to say that it had done everything possible
to prevent the spread.
That the campsites are not sites for contamination and spreading of COVID. So
makes sense.
But I think I like the idea of them getting a health fitness certificate, because so many times, because of the kinds of activities that they make them go through during the orientation camp, we've heard of cases of collapse that leads to death and all of that. So if you're not physically fit for those kinds of things, you should be exempted. So I like the fact.
Will they give them an exemption certificate?
Oh yes, they will.
I doubt.
I mean, I was nursing a child when I was in my NYSC.
You were nursing a child?
No. Were you exempted from NYSC?
I was exempted from the 3 weeks orientation camp because I had my son was like barely a month old. So it was really a new baby.
Like you would, but right now we do not know whether because you do not pass physical testing or you and you give.
No, but I'm saying I'm not saying exemption not to do that.
Exemption from
not exemption from camp. Exemption from
rigorous activities that happens
which they already do. So it's only wise for them to do that.
Okay, I get it now.
Okay. Your story.
My turn. So my story is also taken from the Punch, and it's in relation to what we're talking about today. So NSAS report, Buhari finally breaks silence. And let's hear this breaking of silence. Following the recent release of the Lagos State NSAS official panel reports, the President, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired, had told the visiting United States Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, that his government will allow the system to exhaust itself and will therefore wait for the pronouncement from state government which set up panels to probe police brutality in the country. I like how the government is exonerating, the federal government is exonerating himself from now that there are reports. But when the matter was on ground, you took it as a responsibility to respond to it. You understand? You took it as a responsibility to address the nation, to talk about it, to invoke.
And clearly ignore the fact that people were massacred.
That's always the part I have an issue with.
Now that there are reports, they're like, state government, continue to run that. Exhaust all your options, say you're done.
Well, that's our government. How convenient. That's our conversation today. So we're going to dwell more on that. But I just, following up on the judicial panel, my story is also actually linked. A member of the Lagos State Judicial Panel on inquiry on investigation of the Lekki toll gate, that's Ebonolu Adeboruwa, has raised alarm over persecution of panel members since the report of its finding was submitted to the state government. So according to the senior advocate of Nigeria, he said that they've been unfairly persecuted and called all sorts of names. He said since the submission of the NSAS panel report to the governor of Lagos State on 15th of November, members of the panel have become subject of vicious attacks by those suspected to be agents of the government. All manner of allegations have been heaped upon panel members, some of who have been called unprintable names. He was out talking, because this was yesterday, he said just today, my attention has been drawn to an interview by the senior counsel to the Lagos State government to the effect of the panel that the panel members collected bribe in the course of the assignment. It is unfair, ungodly, and least expected of the government and its lawyers. So this is a brewing conversation. Of course, this was expected because from the reports there were strong indictments
on the government.
On the government. So that's our conversation today. So we'll just take a break. Yeah, when we come back from the break, you tell us why you're shocked. Stay with us. We'll be right back.